Greetings, my name is Irene Pawlish. I'm working in partnership with the Wisconsin Beef Council. More and more schools are purchasing raw ground beef as part of their USDA and local food purchasing plans. We have created a resource guide with the Wisconsin Beef Council with tips and tricks for how to make the recipes. This video is to supplement the resource guide and show you some actual footage of creating the recipes in different ways and in different techniques.
This video will cover the many ways to cook raw ground beef in schools' nutrition programs to ensure the food we serve is safe for at-risk populations. Several safety steps need to be in place. As a part of the Hazard Analysis Critical Control Point, or HACCP plan, in a kitchen needs to have a couple of prerequisites in place. First, vendor information must be available. Does the farmer meet safety standards, like having the cattle harvested and beef processed at the USDA inspected facility? Second, there needs to be a clear plan to educate the staff about the safety protocols using raw proteins in a kitchen. Next, you need a sanitation standard operating procedure, or SOP, for thawing frozen ground beef. This could be a designated storage shelf in your refrigerator with a drip pan below it. Ensure nothing is below the production counter where you're handling the raw ground beef. You also need to have a dedicated wash and sanitation bucket. Designate a production space away from ready-to-eat foods. Last is a standard operating procedure written specific to a particular food product and kitchen equipment. An example is the flow of production for raw ground beef, which we'll walk through now. Upon delivery, a 10-pound beef chub is removed from the box. A slice is made on the packaging and the product is placed in a 4-inch hotel pan on a designated speed rack. It can slack in a cooler for up to 3 days. The beef is then removed from the cooler and placed in its cooking container. Beef is medium rare when it has temperature of 145 degrees Fahrenheit with whole muscle meat, but ground beef should be cooked to an internal temperature of 160 degrees Fahrenheit. In school nutrition, we generally use 165 degrees Fahrenheit to ensure proper doneness for serving at-risk population. While beef is cooking, it is important to use a thermometer, as color is not a reliable indicator of ground beef doneness. Note how the cook angles the probe to reach the dimple for the most accurate temperature readings. Some salt-free seasoning blend has been introduced to the cooked beef once it's reached 145 degrees Fahrenheit. But remember, this is not the final cooking temperature, as you are preparing a number 3 on your production records. A simple blend of garlic powder and onion powder is a good universal base. This allows the kitchen to cook off a full case of ground beef into crumble for a variety of recipes. At this point, the cooked beef can be left chunky or cut smaller. Additional seasoning blends are added to the beef to customize it to the recipe. For examples, taco would get taco seasoning blend, or chili, a chili spice blend. Day-ahead recipe production can include pre-measuring the spice blends. This makes the production run more smoothly. It's important to have a system in place if the beef is to be kept warm during this type of production. We call it mise en place, or everything in its place. This includes being ready to fill and return to the oven. Speed racks and carts make it easier to have the prep table open for active production. If you are making bulk back for multiple recipes that will be served at a later date time, have a plan in place for proper cooling. Removing the fat and excess liquid before you start the cooling process and stir the beef crumble to release heat more rapidly. Transferring to a cooling pan will also speed up the cooling process. Leave enough space between pans for airflow and actively stir if needed. It is best to cool products in their own rack in front of the cooler fan. Keep a cooling record for each batch of beef. Once cooled, the beef can be portioned according to the recipe needs. Remember, 1 ounce of cooked beef with any additional fillers is equal to 1 meat alternate. Here we are measuring 50 portions of our meat for our creamy cheeseburger sauce. The cooks have 50 portions recipes that fits a 4-inch full pan. We can ship out the cooked ground beef frozen to satellite schools for them to defrost in their coolers. Remember, this is a cooked, cooled, and reheated product or number 3 on your production records. As this is now reheating product, the final temperature should be 165 degrees Fahrenheit. Look at this amazing creamy cheeseburger sauce we made on stovetop and the oven using our own scratch beef crumble. In Wisconsin, we love our meat and potatoes. In place of penne, we used mashed potatoes, an amazing, craveable comfort food creation.